Good Tuesday, everyone, and welcome to this edition of Conversation Daily News. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. We, of course, have your news headlines coming up on this Tuesday. We have a message from my book, Words I Choose to Live By, and in today's Entertainment Spotlight, you'll be part of my conversation with Chef Casey Korn, the host of the Magnolia Network's new show, Recipe Lost and Found. Enjoy today's broadcast. For Conversation Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with your Tuesday headlines. In national news, father and son get life for hate crime in Ahmaud Arbery's death. The father and son convicted of murder in Ahmaud Arbery's fatal shooting after they chased a 25-year-old man through a Georgia neighborhood were sentenced Monday to life in prison for committing a federal hate crime. The U.S. District Court judge handed down the sentences against Travis McMichael and his father Greg McMichael, reiterating the gravity of the killing that shattered their Brunswick community and became part of a larger national reckoning over national injustice. A young man is dead. Ahmaud Arbery will be forever 25, and what happened, a jury found, happened because he's black, the judge said. Both men were previously sentenced to life without parole in state court for Arbery's murder, and it asked the judge to divert them to a federal prison to serve their sentences, saying they were worried about their safety in the state prison system. The judge declined that request. In February, a federal judge convicted the McMichaels and neighbor William Roddy Bryan of violating Arbery's civil rights, concluding they targeted him because of his race. All three were also found guilty of attempting kidnapping, and the McMichaels were convicted of using guns in the commission of a violent crime. The McMichaels armed themselves with guns and used a pickup truck to chase Arbery after he ran past their home on February 23, 2020. Bryan joined the pursuit in his own truck and recorded cell phone video of Travis McMichael shooting Arbery with a shotgun. The McMichaels told police they suspected Arbery was a burglar, but investigators determined he was unarmed and had committed no crimes. Before the Monday sentencings, Arbery's mother said that every day she feels every shot fired at her son. It's so unfair, so unfair, so unfair that he was killed while he was not even committing a crime, she said. Greg McMichael addressed the Arbery family, saying their loss was beyond description. I'm sure my words mean very little to you, but I want to assure you I never wanted any of this to happen, he said. There was no malice in my heart or my son's heart that day. Travis McMichael declined to address the court, but his attorney said a lighter sentence would be more consistent with what similarly charged defendants have received in other cases, noting that the officer who killed George Floyd in Minneapolis got 21 years in prison for violating Floyd's civil rights, though he was not charged with targeting Floyd because of his race. In more national news, the Associated Press asked, what recession? U.S. employers add 528,000 jobs in July. U.S. employers added an astonishing 528,000 jobs last month, despite flashing warning signs of an economic downturn, easing fears of a recession, and handing President Joe Biden some good news heading into the midterm elections. Unemployment rate dropped another notch from 3.6% to 3.5%, matching the more than 50-year low reached just before the pandemic took hold. The economy has now recovered all 22 million jobs lost in March and April of 2020 when COVID slammed the U.S. The red-hot numbers reported last week by the Labor Department are certain to intensify the debate over whether the U.S. is in a recession or not. In international news, ceasefire between Palestinians and Israel takes effect in Gaza. A ceasefire between Israel and Palestinian militants took effect late Sunday in a bid to end nearly 3 days of violence that killed dozens of Palestinians and disrupted the lives of hundreds of thousands of Israelis. The flare-up was the worst fighting between Israel and Gaza militant groups since Israel and Hamas fought an 11-day war last year, and adds to the destruction and misery that have plagued blockaded Gaza for years. The Egyptian-brokered ceasefire took effect at 11:30 p.m., Israel's strikes and militant rockets continued in the minutes leading up to the beginning of the truce, and Israel said it would respond strongly if the ceasefire was violated. In entertainment news, Nicki Minaj to get Video Vanguard Award at MTV Awards. Nicki Minaj will receive the Video Vanguard Award at the MTV Awards later this month, joining such previous winning music luminaries as Madonna, Janet Jackson, LL Cool J, Jennifer Lopez, and Missy Elliott. Minaj, who has won 5 MTV trophies, will get the award and perform at the ceremony on August 28th at the Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey. Jack Harlow, Lil Nas X, Kendrick Lamar are the top award contenders with 7 nominations. And finally, in more business news, Wall Street ended flat as investors await inflation updates. Stocks closed flat on Wall Street as investors prepare for a busy week of updates on inflation. The S&P 500 gave up early gains and closed down 0.1% Monday, while the Dow Jones Industrial Average edged higher and the Nasdaq fell slightly. Small company stocks outpaced the broader market in a sign of investors' confidence in the economy. Retailers and communication stocks were among the biggest winners. Clean energy companies, including First Solar, rose following Senate approval of Democrats' big election year economic package. Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. It's on time for a message from my book, Words I Choose to Live By. Enjoy. Good Tuesday, everyone. I'm Cyrus Webb, and welcome to Words I Choose to Live By. Walk in this truth. You have everything you need to make this day better than the one before it. All you have to do is be willing to believe it and use the tools in your arsenal to make it happen. It begins and ends with you. Have a great Tuesday. Chef Casey Corn is featured in today's Entertainment Spotlight right here on Conversation Daily News. For Conversation Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with the Entertainment Spotlight. Casey Corn, a classically trained chef, culinary anthropologist, and the host of the Magnolia Network's Recipe Lost and Found, join me on Conversations Live, the radio show, to talk about her love of food and how she's able to share that with others. Here's a bit of our conversation.
So as I mentioned, your show is called Recipe Lost and Found. Tell us a little bit about the show and what viewers can expect from it.
So my show, as you said, Recipe Lost and Found, is all about me helping people recreate their lost family recipes. It's really sad sometimes with time and people passing, we lose our connection to these dishes that we know and love. And I come in and help people recreate those dishes and put together all the pieces that they're missing so that they can bring them back into their family dinners.
So, Casey, what is your favorite part of that? I mean, it has to be a great experience, for those that you're working with, but what is your favorite part of working with these families to help them create these lost dishes?
It's all so fun, but I would say either all of the eating we get to do is really fun or just learning about all these different family histories and the food culture behind them. As you said, I'm in the South too, and being here, the connection of food and family is so deep, and it's a really important thing and something that I think people feel really sad when they lose that connection. So getting to bring those memories and the nostalgia back to people is just really, really amazing.
That is so cool. So, Casey, does this seem like a natural progression for you? I know you have a passion for food and family yourself. Did it seem just a natural progression that you would be able to do this for a living, that you will be able to find some way to be able to bring that passion to the world?
Absolutely. And again, as you said so beautifully, the connection between food and family is so important, and that food really brings us together, as you said, through the generations, but I think also across the world.
Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. We thank you all for tuning into this edition of Conversations Daily News. We have to get on tomorrow's more news, message from my book, Words I Choose to Live By, and of course your Entertainment Spotlight. Until then, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Daily News today, and let's go make it a great one.